Hello bookish friends and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a little book shopping vlog. This book shopping vlog is a very special one because it is New Release Tuesday. It's June 18th and there are so many good new releases coming out today, like it's not even funny. I follow Books with Buzzy on Bookstagram and she always posts the new releases coming out each month by date, and I was scrolling through it and like determining which new releases I actually physically wanted to buy. Today there are literally 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 books that I need to buy. They are just books that I'm so excited for. I've either read from the author before and absolutely love their other books, or they're just like highly anticipated reads for me. Let's quickly talk about my game plan for today because I need to go in with a game plan so I don't just go balls to the walls. Before we talk about my game plan, I am actually at the Barnes & Noble in Poughkeepsie, New York, which you guys already know is my absolute favorite Barnes & Noble because it's just huge and they have so many different selections of books, and they have a lot of indie authors because they just have a lot more space in this location. So I obviously had to come to my favorite Barnes & Noble to do this. So let's talk about the books I want to buy, and we'll pop up pictures of them here really quickly just so you know what the hell I'm talking about. The first one, and the one I'm most excited for, is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. This is his newest release. I think this is basically about this guy and his childhood best friend. His childhood best friend went missing and then he comes back years later to try to figure out what happened. If you know Riley Sager, you know that there's probably some paranormal aspect to this book. The last couple Riley Sager books I read, I loved. The House Across the Lake, absolutely loved. The Only One Left, is that what it was called? Yes, The Only One Left, absolutely loved. I also read Lock Every Door, and I didn't really love that one as much as the other two, but still really enjoyed it. Still enjoy Riley Sager enough to purchase his newest release, so this is definitely one that I want to buy. The next one is The Next Mrs. Parrish, which I absolutely loved. The Last Mrs. Parrish, it was the first book. I gave that book 5 stars because I absolutely freaking loved it, and I guess the second one, I guess there is a second one, and that one obviously comes out today, and I am so freaking excited for that one. I don't know what that one's necessarily about because it's been so long since I read this book. It's basically this girl, they hire a nanny or something. I could be wrong. And this is the first book I'm talking about, by the way. No, I shouldn't really talk about it because I will spoil it. But anyways, it's a domestic thriller that has to do with a family and a wife and whatnot. And it was just so freaking good. And when I saw that there was a second book coming out, I was like, okay, I need that. And obviously that also comes out today. Next book I really want to get is The Nature of Disappearing by Kimmy Cunningham Grant, because I read her book The Silent Woods, I think last year, the beginning of last year, and freaking loved it and just want to read more from this author. I'm pretty sure this is her second book. Let's see what this one's about. A wilderness guide must team up with the man who ruined her life years ago when the friend who introduced them goes missing. It explores what it takes to start over and the cost of letting the past pull you back in. So I don't know, it's a thriller, obviously. And then the only other one that I'm maybe debating on, and I have no idea what this book is about, it's just the cover that got me, is The Quiet Tenant by Clemence McHolland. I don't really know, but that one, the cover looks pretty cool. I don't know if that makes it good enough to buy, but there's also one other book on my radar. If I find it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And that is Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies. This is a cozy mystery, and it's part of a series, and it just sounds so good. I was watching Olivia Reads a Latte's newest reading vlog where she reads new releases, and she was saying how it's giving the books that Finlay Donovan writes in that book series vibes. So Finlay Donovan, but the books that she writes, it seems like this is that kind of book that Finlay would write, if that makes sense. So if I can find this book, I want to get it. But if I can't find it, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I can see if I can get it on my Kindle. But this released back in April, so it should be out, but we're just going to include that on our list. So potentially getting 5 books today, which I don't need any more books, I know. But all these books that released today are books that I really want to read. I don't think I bought a single book besides my Book of the Month books in the month of June, so I don't feel that bad about this. Maybe we'll do a little reading vlog of reading all these new releases. So if you like that idea, let me know in the comments and let me know if that'd be something you are interested in watching, and I can potentially film that for you. It has been quite some time since I've actually filmed a vlog because June has been such a busy month, unexpectedly busy. We had so many birthdays and Father's Day and just other stuff in our personal lives going on, and it just seems like I have no time to read. Like, I have barely been reading in the last couple weeks. I like can't get into books. So I started reading, what did I start reading? I started reading so many things. And I know this is a long intro, but it is what it is. I have to wait a couple minutes to even get into this Barnes & Noble. Okay, I have to turn the air on because it's so freaking hot. It is like gonna be in the high 90s in upstate New York this week, and I'm dying. So sorry about the air. Okay.
Please, you see, it's too hot. Can you check if we're allowed
in the last couple weeks? I just can't find any books that I like, it seems. I read The Secret Summer Promise, which I DNF'd. I read a like monster smut book. I really enjoyed that. I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Absolutely love that. I was trying to listen to Bad Summer People by Emma Rosenblum on audio, and I just like did not care because like the same shit kept happening over and over again, so I DNF'd that. And then I'm currently reading 3 books, which I ended up DNFing one today, which is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. I was listening to the audio and I just like don't care. Like I literally was like, I don't want to read this, and I just like don't want to do this. I'm also 120-ish pages into Throne of Glass, and I'm currently reading The Housemaid is Watching on my Kindle and absolutely hating it. It just seems, it's just boring compared to the other two. Like Millie can't shut the hell up about like how normal her life is and how perfect her husband is and how much she loves her kids and how she blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, this is not the Housemaid series I signed up for. So I'm just not loving anything that I'm reading. So hopefully when I get one of these books in here today, I can maybe start one. Even though I really want to finish Throne of Glass, but I'm just like not in the headspace for that. So I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to preserve my battery a little bit because it seems very low and that's not good. But I will get as much footage in Barnes & Noble as I possibly can. And then once we are done and I am back home, we will do a book haul. Hello friends, we are back from the bookstore and we are here to chat about the books that I got. We had a very successful trip. I got 4 out of the 5 books that I mentioned I wanted to get. I'll take as a win. I'm very excited to read every single one of these books. They're all hardcover thrillers, which June just must be the month of thriller releases. And honestly, I'm not mad about it. So let's go over the books that I got and we'll talk synopsis and everything. The first book I got is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. This was obviously the first book I picked up because it was the first book I saw because this cover is just like bright and fluorescent. This one says, a man must contend with the long ago disappearance of his childhood best friend and the dark secrets lurking just beyond the safe confines of his picture-perfect neighborhood. One July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend and neighbor Billy fell asleep in a tent set up on a manicured lawn in a quiet, quaint New Jersey cul-de-sac. In the morning, Ethan woke up alone. During the night, someone had sliced the tent open with a knife and taken Billy. He was never seen again. 30 years later, Ethan has reluctantly returned to his childhood home. Plagued by bad dreams and insomnia, he begins to notice strange things happening in the middle of the night. Someone seems to be roaming the cul-de-sac at odd hours, and signs of Billy's presence keep appearing in Ethan's backyard. Is someone playing a cool prank, or has Billy, long thought to be dead, somehow returned to Hemlock Circle? That just sounds so good. I love any type of Riley Sager thriller, especially his newer books. I'm still working through his backlist. I haven't read all of his books, but the books that he's come out with in the last couple years I've loved. I'm pretty sure I either gave 4 or 5 stars to, and I love how his thrillers always have some sort of paranormalness to it. So like, is this really Billy coming back or is it like his ghost? So I'm very excited for this, and I also love this cover. Like, this bright neon green is giving all the summer vibes. So that was the first book I got. What was the next book I found? I think the next book I found was this one, and this is Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies by Catherine Mack. I don't know what the name of the series is, but it is the first in a series. It says 10 days, 8 suspects, 6 cities, 5 authors, 3 bodies, 1 trip to die for. Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies is an irresistible and hilarious series debut from Catherine Mack, introducing fictional best-selling Eleanor Dash on her Italian book tour where life starts to imitate the world in her books when she's caught up in a real-life murder mystery. That just, I don't know. I love cozy mysteries, and this is clearly giving all the beachy vibes, but like, look at the inside of this. Oh my god, I love this hardcover color. But like, look at this. Oh, I think it's like her notes as an author. I don't know. So, Olivia Rizzolatto just said that she like loved this, and I don't remember how many stars she gave it, but I love a good cozy thriller. Like, there is literally nothing better to me, specifically during summertime, than a mystery thriller. And if Elle Cosimano said that she loved this, then I'm probably gonna love it, you know? So that's the second one I got. Next, I have The Nature of Disappearing by Kimmy Cunningham Grant. And honestly, this cover and sort of the synopsis of this is giving me The Wilds by Sarah Pierce vibe, a nature thriller where somebody's like in an Airstream and like camping. It says, Emmeline doesn't let herself think about the past, how she and her best friend Janessa barely speak anymore, how Tyler, the love of her life, left her half dead on the side of the road 3 years ago. Her new life is simple and safe. She lives alone in her Airstream and works as a fishing and hunting guide in scenic Idaho. Her closest friends are the community's makeshift reverend and a handsome Forest Service ranger who took her in at her lowest. But when Tyler shows up with the news that Janessa is missing, Emmeline is propelled back into the world she worked so hard to forget. Janessa has become a social media star documenting her van life adventures with her rugged boyfriend. She hasn't posted lately though, and when Emmeline realizes the most recent photo doesn't match up with its caption, she reluctantly joins Tyler to find her old friend. As the two trace Janessa's path through miles of wild country, Emmeline can't deny the chemistry still crackling between them. But the deeper they press into the wilderness, the more she begins to suspect that a darker truth lies in the woods and that Janessa isn't the only one in danger. I'm very excited for this one because, like I said, I read These Silent Woods, I think it's called, by this author, and I loved her writing style. It was very like atmospheric, and you could like feel the creepiness in her book, which is, I feel like, is hard to do. So I am very excited to read this one, and it seems relatively short. How many pages is this? 289 pages. My type of thriller. Under 300 pages, which means hopefully there's not a lot of fluff and this is all just action. So very excited for this one. And then lastly, I did get The Next Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. This was like the second to last copy they had. It wasn't out on shelves, and I had to go up to like the customer service desk and be like, hey, do you have this book? And she literally was like, I have to instantly order more because these are selling so fast. So very excited for this one. Also, this was $30 freaking. Like, why? I also don't really love like these kinds of covers with like real people on them. I don't know. So this is the second in a thriller series, and the first one we follow Daphne, who is married to Jackson. A whole bunch of shit happens, and then there's another character, Amber, which I'm not gonna say her part in everything because it'll ruin it for you, but this takes place, I think, a couple years after the first book. Amber is now married to Jackson, and Daphne has been like MIA for a couple years. So I'm gonna say about this one, but when I read the first one, I was so into it. I absolutely loved it, but I also was like new to reading, so I don't know if this is gonna like stand up to some of the best thriller authors and thriller stories, you know, but I just remember loving that one. So when I saw that this was coming out, I was like, well, I have to try it and I have to read it. So we're gonna give her a try. That is my little mini book haul of some new releases. Pretty much all of these are new releases except for this one. This one came out like 2 weeks ago, but it's still technically a new release. I am so excited to have all of these books. These three specifically, the ones that came out today, June 18th, are some of my most anticipated reads for the year, and I cannot freaking wait to get to them. If you want to see me read these in one vlog where it's like reading new releases, definitely let me know in the comments below and I can do that for you guys. It probably won't be out for, maybe we'll shoot for August because your girl's a slow reader, and when I do specific reading vlogs, it takes me some time because I don't read the books like one after another. So if you want to see that video, definitely let me know in the comments below. But other than that, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like these kinds of videos, definitely make sure to show this video some love. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.